everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Sirdork Live, the weekly show of stuff that we talk about toys and toy photography and editing and all kinds of stuff. So everyone who's here live, thank you so much for being here. Seriously, thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Anyone who's here not live, thank you so much. Thank you. Seriously, this series has been going really well so far, at least I think, and I'm really happy with how it's been going, and I cannot thank you guys enough for being here. I hope you liked the new intro, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, that's going to be the new intro for the rest of the videos from now on. So, hello everybody, Ronin Photography, hello, that dude, hello. Soluciones11, hello. Jorge Cordero, hello. Plastic in Action, hello. Everybody, Sonic Burst, thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are fantastic. Seriously, thank you so much. So we stream and we have this show live every single Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the best time that works for me. One of these days I'm going to have to do an earlier one for all my UK people who, those guys are, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning over there, so sorry guys. But I have a really cool show I'm excited for today. And this show is going to be a live editing section. So one of the questions I get most often is about editing and stuff like that. And it's just one thing that it's the most difficult for me to demonstrate and to explain most of the time. First of all, because editing is, I feel like it's not my strongest shoot, even though I do put a lot of time into editing. It's not my strongest area of expertise. But then also, you know, like when I'm setting up and I'm shooting, I can film it and that kind of thing. And when I'm editing, I can't so much as share that kind of behind the scenes. But now that we have this show, we have this new medium for me to demonstrate how I edit. And if this one goes well, and if it's good, I plan on doing it all the time. Maybe we'll do it like every month or so. We'll do like one of the shows will be, one of them will be an editing session. So hopefully this goes well, for sure. And so a lot of the times I'm going to try and keep this video like as helpful as I possibly can make it for editing. So I'm going to try and respond to as many questions about editing throughout the process as I can while I'm editing too. So if you have any questions, try to keep them to, mostly about editing and where we are and that kind of thing, because I'm going to try and stick to answering questions like that. So before we get that, whoa, Dima's here too. Hey Dima, check it. So yeah, the Siva sent me that new song, so I had to go crazy with it. So, yeah, one of the things I really wanted to, Dima and Siva, both my childhood long-loving friends, both said happy birthday. Thanks, guys. Tomorrow's my birthday. It's not today. Thank you, guys. So one of the things I really wanted to talk about before I get started is I don't want anyone to feel discouraged by the editing. So if this photo it's pretty, I don't want to say complicated, but it's very challenging. This is going to be a pretty challenging photo for me to edit, and it's complicated. I'm going to do a lot of layering and combining different effects, different photos, and then as well as just normal editing stuff too, with colors and brightening brights and darkening darks and stuff like that. So I don't want anybody to look at this and be like, wow, this is a ton of stuff. This is really like overwhelming. Because if I were to look at this a few years ago, before I was more used to this kind of thing, I would feel that way. Okay, and I had definitely felt that way before, but I don't want anyone to feel discouraged by this. This is just me after experimenting with this stuff years and years and years. So as long as you just try stuff out, you will get used to this stuff if you are using Photoshop, which I'm going to be using Photoshop. Yeah, so I took a shot yesterday using this Hulk action figure right here. So this is the Diamond Select Incredible Hulk. I've seen a lot of people using this guy recently and how good he looks, and he's fantastic. I got him on Mercari, and he's only like retail like $35, which is kind of fantastic. considering how massive and how great this guy looks. Sorry, it's probably not in focus. So I really wanted to use him for this shot specifically. And so I know you guys have seen me do some other shots with Mountain Dew in the past. And so this is a Mountain Dew inspired shot for sure. So I'm going to give a little bit of context before we see how wacky this photo is, because it's kind of a wacky photo. So Mountain Dew came out with this new Cake Smash flavor. Cake Smash. You can only really get it online. You can't actually get it in the stores. So yeah, of course I'm going to get the flavor. Of course I had to try it. So when I got it, I was like, oh, this would be, maybe I could do a cool picture. Cake Smash. What should we do with Cake Smash? Cake Smash. Yeah, smash a cake, obviously. We're going to smash a cake. And who smashes things? The Hulk. So it was kind of a no-brainer. I was like, okay, duh. I got to get a Hulk figure that I'm really happy with so I can smash a cake. So, yeah, that's exactly what I did. And just before we go any further, I just want to let you know, no cake was wasted. No cake was wasted during this photo shoot. Everything went back into the fridge, and I've already eaten like a ton of it. So, yes, everyone who's saying happy birthday, thank you guys so much. Thank you. So Cody Franklin says Photoshop subscription. Photoshop, yes, I have the full Photoshop subscription. It's a little bit pricey, I'm not gonna lie, but when you get the Photoshop subscription, you're getting the entire Adobe Creative Cloud package. You can't really just get Photoshop. At least I don't think you can. But you get everything. You get access to all the normal Adobe stuff, like Adobe Acrobat, and you get Photoshop, and you get Premiere, and you get a ton of stuff. So you're getting a lot for it, but it's like $25 a month, which is pretty expensive. It's like I said, it's a little pricey. But it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, especially if you're using it quite as much as I am. And if you could really get a lot out of it if you use every little bit of it. There's a lot of stuff that you can use in the Adobe Creative Cloud. And yeah, so I'm going to be using Adobe Photoshop to edit the photo. And so so this is going to be what the setup looks like. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's going to be what the setup looks like. This is blah, blah, blah. But before we go any further with that, I do want to show you my setup that I had when I set up this photo. When I set everything up, I got everything right here. Everyone who's here in the live chat, thank you guys so much. I feel bad I'm not going to be able to be as responsive on this video as usual because I'm going to be super concentrated, stuff like this. Okay, Bagel says, what kind of camera do you use? Actually, my camera's right over here. It's a Canon 250D. And it's a 50mm f1.8 lens. Not the craziest, blow you away expensive camera, but it does the job, and it's fantastic. So, let me show you what my setup was like. So, first, this was what we were working with. So, here's the cake. I got this nice, beautiful, good-looking cake, and I needed to kind of cut a little piece out. So yeah, that's me digging into that nice, big, beautiful cake. So yeah, there it is. So after after I cut into the cake, I set it up like this, and I had to kind of stand it up. And I wanted to look like the Hulk was smashing the whole piece out of the cake. And so I'm actually using like wooden skewers, like you would use for, cooking, whatever. And it worked perfect because I'm actually dealing with food. And yes, as you can see in this time lapse, I'm constantly licking my fingers because I got lots of cake all over me. This was a very, very messy setup. So this was basically what the setup looked like. So there's Hulk holding the can, and he's lying back like that, like he's kicking it. He's kicking the cake. It's a little messy, but yeah, that was basically that was the initial setup. Actually, I filmed this afterwards. That's why there's sprinkles and stuff everywhere. So to kind of sell the action, I wanted cake particles and stuff flying all over the place, like what happened if the Hulk was smashing this cake. So first thing I did was I took a bunch of shots with sprinkles flying all over the place, a ton of them. You can see my crazy concentrated face there, and if you look, I'm also holding onto my camera remote. My camera remote right in the center there. I tried not to touch my camera as often as don't touch it at all. I wanted to not touch it at all because the more I move it, the more it could possibly shift a little bit, and then editing would be so much more difficult because I'm going to be combining so many photos all at once. So yeah, that's me dumping some sprinkles on there, taking a bunch of shots with sprinkles going all over the place, and then I also did it with just some pieces of cake going all over the place as well. So if we go right here, I'm also dumping some water. I'm kind of missing the can, but I'm dumping some water on the side of the can like that because I also wanted it to look like there was Mountain Dew squirting out of the can like this. So yeah, and if you can tell, the water is not exactly water-colored. It is kind of a white color. And yeah, this is going to sound pretty gross, but the way I got the water that color is I put a little bit of almond milk in the water, and it just went to that color. 'Cause that's what the color of this flavor of Mountain Dew really is like. Oh, hi, Mom. I didn't see you in there. Hi, Mom. Thanks for watching. But yeah, so I got some water, made it look the color of the Mountain Dew. I want it to be as accurate as possible. You know, I don't want Mountain Dew to see this and be like, that's not the color of the drink. This is a lie. So actually, yeah, Mountain Dew had nothing, like the company Mountain Dew had nothing to do with me creating this photo. I completely did this myself because I wanted to, and I enjoy doing shots like this, and I thought it'd be fun. And you know what? I already have somewhat kind of connections with them already, so it wouldn't hurt to do another photo again to get back on their radar, so they can maybe, who knows, hook me up with some other gigs or who knows. So you know, this was fun, but it's also, I'm thinking about potential, you know, possibilities, professional things in the future as well too with this shot because it's cool. And like, I don't know, this is their current thing they're promoting and they're selling, so this is the perfect time for me to do it because this is what they're doing. So Cake Smash, boom, that's what they're doing. So that's why I wanted to shoot it as well. Cake Smash, it's what I wanted to do. It's what I wanted to do. So in the end, I end up taking a lot of photos, like a ton of photos. So this is just kind of like my so yeah, you can see I took maybe around 100 or so photos. Wait, that's from my last photo shoot. But yeah, bunch of different photos, a ton of them, with sprinkles, with pieces of cake, with different lighting, a bunch of them. You can even tell the difference here between like this one and this one. So it was a cloudy day and the sun was getting all screwy with me, so it does, I'm sure anyone toy photography outside, they know what what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's see. And I want to keep looking at the live chat too. I don't want to totally miss everybody's questions. Tips for shooting and or editing photos of dark or black figures. I would definitely recommend backlighting your dark figures. If you have a lume cube or some kind of light, put the light behind them, and it will make them have like this kind of rim of light around them. It's called like rim lighting or edge lighting or something, and that will make them pop for sure. Definitely do that. But anyway, so yeah, a bunch of different photos, a lot, a bunch of different ones of water being squirted. You know, we got a ton of them. Yeah, okay, that's all. That was my thumbnail for this video. Yeah, so I got a ton of different photos. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to Photoshop and I'm going to get started. I'm going to get started with editing the picture. So here we go. I'm going to adjust my camera to, now that I'm over here like this. Hello, everybody. Again, thank you guys. If you're just joining, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to do this. And like I said, this is going to be a very, very challenging photo. There's a lot of different stuff. Excuse me, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's incredibly dynamic. We got sprinkles, we got cake, we got Mountain Dew, we got the Hulk. We got all kinds of stuff. So I'm also a little nervous because very often I'll take a photo and I'll like it and I'll go to start editing and then it doesn't really work out in the end. You know, I don't really like it and then I don't ever post it. So hopefully that that doesn't happen today. Hopefully everything works out great and it ends up being a really good video, because that would really kind of suck if this didn't work out in the end. I'll through this whole entire video and then we don't get a good photo. That would not be good. Plushy Maniac, hey, thanks for loving the content. Sonic Burst, hello. Thank you guys so much for being here. Seriously, thank you guys. Sonic Burst says, was the cake delicious? Yes, I was kind of eating it as I was taking this photo. I mean, my fingers were getting very, very covered in in frosting and stuff. Yeah, it was tough. So let's see. And like I said, you guys, if you want to ask any questions, try to keep the questions to this specific kind of stuff with editing. And this kind of thing. I mean, we haven't started yet, but I just want to make sure everything stays super relevant, because I also want this video to be super helpful for anyone watching this later on, after it's live too. But seriously, like I said, thank you guys for being here. Wow, there's 50 people here. I think that's like the max ever. So yeah, Toy Photography and Art Channel. Lucan, hey, says Hulk love cake, and Hulk also like to smash cake. So yeah. So let's get started. So I'm going to pull it up over here in my other screen. So the first thing I'm going to actually start doing, well, actually, no, let me show you. I got a bunch of photos lined up that I want to use. So the first thing I always do is to start with one main photo that I'm going to basically make my main canvas that I'm going to be working on. And I chose this one because it already has some sprinkles right here, just like this. I like all of those sprinkles. I don't plan on getting rid of any of them. The lighting is pretty good. I might add a little bit more for lighting later on. So this is going to be my main canvas. I'm going to be taking stuff from other photos and adding it onto this one. And sometimes really any photo could work. It doesn't have, like, you don't have to choose like the best one. You could choose any of these ones that I have up already would probably work for that. So yeah, let's see here. So I also have this photo here that I'm going to be using. There's some more sprinkles over around in this area on the ground. So we also got this. Honestly, the only reason I chose this one is because there's a big chunk of cake right here, and I like that, and I want to put that in the picture. And then we also got this chunk of cake right here on this photo, so I'm definitely going to be adding that in. And so this, we only have 2 photos actually of the Mountain Dew squirting out. So yeah, we got some Mountain Dew squirting down right here, some nice splashing effects. We got a little piece of bokeh over there, which actually looks really nice with the splashes. And then we have some splashes right by the can. So I'm only going to be like using this one and this one for the splashes, and that's really great. And then the last one I have right here is, so I got extra lighting right here. I used my Lume Cube Panel Pro, which I talked about actually in my last video, to get this thing super bright, so you can tell the difference right here between this one and that one, because I wanted to make sure the Mountain Dew can was very, very bright. I wanted to make sure it was vibrant and so obviously Mountain Dew, because I want Mountain Dew to see this and I want them to like it, and who knows, maybe they'll like it enough to I don't know, who knows. But one of the challenges with something like this is, so if you look at this photo and this photo, the cake shifts a little bit right here. The cake is shifting because of gravity a little bit, so it's not totally perfect. So hopefully that doesn't become a problem. And that's just going to happen a lot with anything outside, you guys, thank you so. Whoa, Shane is here too. Hey Shane! Wow, all the boys are here. So many of my real life friends from high school, my men are here, my dudes. Thank you guys. Jeez, this is awesome. Cool. All right, so let's get started with editing. So this is my main canvas. So I'm going to start next with this. So I got a bunch of sprinkles over here and over here. So I'm going to use the lasso tool, which is right here. It's the free lasso tool. I can just basically draw whatever I want, and I highlight. So I'm going to first basically just kind of get all of this. I want all of this right here. All those sprinkles, and I'm going to Control C and copy it, go back over here, and then, okay, so this is one of the most handy tools I've ever learned with Photoshop. and I only just recently learned it. And actually, it was on the toy photography immersion experience event thing in Lake Placid, and someone taught me something. Colden's dad, Todd, taught me this. So if you actually hit Control Shift V, it will paste in place and will put the sprinkles exactly where I want them. So yeah, so I pasted them. So this is, see, it started another layer right here, and if I do that, see, I just kind of, look at that. Look how nicely that falls in so perfectly. You can't even tell that I don't even have to really do any adjusting. That just fell so perfectly in there. So yeah, heck yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And, oh, Adam Sanchez, it's also your birthday? Happy birthday, Adam Sanchez. I hope you had a great day today, or hope you're having a great day today. So, okay, we already got a bunch of sprinkles in there. Perfect. Fantastic. I mean, hopefully at the end of this actually looks like the Hulk is kicking the cake, and it doesn't just look like there's some random piece of cake floating. Because that would suck. That would not be good if that was the case. So there's also some sprinkles over here that I want. So I'm going to Control C and copy that. And I'm going to Control Shift V, paste it right in place. Boom. There it is. Perfect. So if you look over here at the sprinkles I just added, I love doing this. I'm checking the visibility and just watching them go in and out like that. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel good. All right. Let's see here. Give me just 1 second. Someone in the live chat is kind of not being cool, so just took care of that. And you know what? There's a couple sprinkles up here, and you know what? It's kind of small, but I want those too. So I'm going to draw a little box, Control C, go back over here, and Control Shift V, and there they are. Is that okay, so if we do that, so I'm actually kind of overwriting some of those other sprinkles that are over here. So I am going to take my eraser tool right here, and I'm gonna erase some of what I just pasted on here. So if you see, these are basically all the layers that I've pasted on, and this little bunch of green here is kind of in the way of some other sprinkles. So I'm gonna get rid of that because I want all the sprinkles. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Erased. So boom, more sprinkles. Awesome, more sprinkles. So with this photo, so I took these sprinkles, and these sprinkles, and I think that's pretty. Tom, how's it going, man? Thanks for being here. Sorry I'm late. Husband duties. Well, you know what? Being a husband comes first. You know, totally get that. So I'm pretty much done with this photo. Or with this one. I don't need it anymore, so I'm just going to exit out of it right here, and now I have less stuff to deal with. So I got a bunch of sprinkles going on here. This looks good. It's looking okay so far. It's looking all right. Let's see here. Okay, so let's go down to this photo. So really, the only thing with this photo is that big chunk of cake, which doesn't look like it'll get in the way of the other sprinkles, which is great. So I'm going to draw a little box, and I'm going to Control C, copy, and so like I said, I'm going to paste in place. So if you don't do Control Shift V, you can also go to Edit, and instead of going to Paste, you can go to Paste Special, Paste in Place, and I'll put it exactly where I want it. And there it is. So it's actually covering up another sprinkle. So we don't want any sprinkles covered up, because we put a lot of work into getting those sprinkles. So I use my eraser tool to erase a little bit of this layer. And there we go. There we go. There we go. I'm keeping an eye out for any questions you guys on this stuff. I actually don't use Photoshop. I also use Procreate. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot. There honestly is a lot of different stuff. I actually took in high school when I was in 10th grade. My first quarter elective for art, I took a Photoshop class, and that actually stuck with me quite a bit. And I remembered a lot of stuff from that, so that was actually really grateful. If you're in high school and your school has a Photoshop elective, take it just to learn the basics. Just do it. Take it. Oh my gosh, that was the best thing ever. Yeah, seriously. sorry, I'm trying to keep, I don't want to go too fast or anything. Like I said, if anybody has any questions as I'm going, let me know. I would love to answer them. I don't want to move too fast. So, okay. That's really the only thing I wanted from this photo, so I'm going to get rid of that, just so I have less on my plate here. Okay, so really the only thing I wanted on this one was this chunk of cake right there. So I'm going to draw a little circle over here. It's a little bit bright, actually, a little washed out, but that's okay. So I'm going to Control C again, and like I do this with a lot of photos. It really is so much less of a complicated process than it seems, because you're really just copying and pasting and just putting stuff all together. That's really all you're doing. That's really all we're doing. Ghost Ando says, "What got you into Star Wars?" Star Wars got me into Star Wars. You know, I'm sure. Actually, to be honest, I don't really have a good answer for that. For Star Wars, it was just something that was always there forever. It was just always there. I think, honestly, my neighbors, Adam and Chris Ballister, they introduced the original trilogy to us when I was, I was probably like 3 or 4, and then because they would come over and bring the VHSs and we'd watch it, because neither of my parents were really into Star Wars. So like I said, I'm erasing some stuff here. So if I look over here, I'm going to click on, so this little eyeball that I've been clicking on, this will make it the layer that I just pasted visible or not visible down here, and I'm pretty much good. I'm not covering up any other sprinkles, maybe a little bit of that yellow one down there, so I'm gonna actually, there we go. So alright, it's looking good. It's looking like there's some real action going on here. Some real action. Juanjo Martinez says, "Man, found your channel a couple weeks ago and you are awesome. Keep it up." Thanks, dude. Thanks so much. Okay, Toy Photography says, "Do you know any free apps with layering?" To be honest, I don't. If anybody in the live chat knows of any other free apps you could do the same kind of process with, comment below, and definitely comment in the live chat, or even in the actual video comments later on too, just to help anybody else who's watching this. That would be amazing. Amazing. All right, so I'm pretty much done with this one. Actually, you know what? There's a little tiny piece of cake right there, right down there. And you know what? That's so insignificant, but I want it. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to copy, Control C, and I'm going to Control Shift V. And there it is. Yeah, it's just a tiny little piece, but that's all right. I want it all. And even if you're watching this not live, continue to please ask me questions about this kind of thing. I'm going to be watching the comments like crazy, even like years from now, if this video is still around. It should be. I'll be answering those questions as best as I can. And then if you have any suggestions, to comment them in the box in the video, so then other people watching could, you can help them out too, seriously. Whoops, I'm getting a pop-up here. Photoshop Express is like $6 a month, and you can do layers. Awesome. Okay, says 112aholic. Photoshop Express, 6 months a month, and you can do layers. Fantastic. Tom says Photoshop Elements has a lot of the same tools, but it's not like $75. Yes. Frogman says GIMP is like Photoshop and it's free. Oh, that's great. Okay, fantastic. That's really great. Awesome answers here, guys. Ooh, you know what? My battery is not plugged. I gotta plug in my computer before it dies. Hang on a sec. I thought I plugged it in. Hang on. There we go. Whew! We would have lost everything. The stream would have ended. Okay, so, all right, we got Hulk's kicking it. It's looking okay. We got sprinkles everywhere. Let's see. So with this photo, we're all set. We don't need this. I'm going to get rid of it. I wonder if I need to get more sprinkles or anything, or if that's good. I don't know. But let's start working on the Mountain Dew can. Let's see here. I just want to see if anybody questions. Let's see. Affinity also says Frank. Frank says Affinity lets you do layers and other similar tools. It takes some getting used to. Dot dot dot. Yeah, and you know what? Thank you, Frank, for commenting that. Affinity. And like I said, if you guys comment this on the actual, I don't know if you can actually do actual comments now while it's live, but if you end up watching this later on, please comment them and help anybody else out who's watching. But yeah, Photoshop needs some getting used to. A lot of apps are gonna need some getting used to, for sure. Do you ever do fog or rain in Photoshop? No, actually, fog and rain, I'll try to do those practically in the photos. Not necessarily because, oh, I think it looks better. I do really like the way it looks, but to be honest, I don't know how I don't know how to add fog or rain into Photoshop and make it look good. I don't know how to do that. Obviously, people do it all the time, and it looks amazing. I mean, they do it in movies, and I don't know how to do it. I don't know how. But for fog, we got Atmosphere Aerosol for that. Yeah, we got the good stuff, Atmosphere Aerosol. And if you want some Atmosphere Aerosol, go to my website or the link in my Instagram bio, and atmosphereaerosol.com, 15% off if you use Sirdork730 promo code. Anyway, okay. All right, so let's see here. So let's get to some Mountain Dew stuff. Okay, let's do it. So I'm gonna use the lasso tool like always, and I'm gonna grab all of this. I want all of that, and that's really good. I'm gonna Control C, copy, and I'm going to Control Shift V. Boom, and it goes right in place. Actually, it doesn't go exactly in place. So if you look over here, it's a little bit off, and that's probably because I moved the camera a little bit, whatever. So if I just click right here on the arrow tool thingy, the move tool, and I can move it down. I'm using the arrows on my keyboard. I can move it down a little bit more, and that kind of matches up a little bit more. So I haven't actually had to do this at all yet because everything else has matched up so perfectly. But so if you look down here, yeah, that does not look very clean. You can see a line there that just doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Val Donnelly says, if you are a student, you can get Photoshop, Lightroom, and Camera Raw for $10 a month from Adobe. There you go. There you go. That's a huge... If you're a student in college or maybe even high school too, yeah, definitely. That's fantastic. Thank you, Val, for that. Appreciate it for sure. Samurai Chris says, just wanted to thank you for the camera settings tutorial you did a few months back. It was really helpful, and I still use it as a guide when I'm using my camera. Wow, that's fantastic. I'm so glad to hear that, man. Thank you for watching it, first of all. I'm so glad to hear that it was helpful for you. Thank you. And that tutorial he's talking about, the camera settings tutorial, it's on my channel under the tutorial section. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to use my eraser tool to get rid of this harsh line right here, and there's a little bit over here as well. So the key with the eraser tool when you're trying to get rid of harsh lines like this is make sure it's kind of big-ish. So right now that size is really good, but the hardness has got to be really low. So right now I have it almost all the way down to the left, so it's a very soft brush. So like down here, this is really soft, and this is hard. So it's like it's gonna be a nice soft little blending kind of brush that's not so harsh. And honestly, see, I'm on this layer, the new layer with the Mountain Dew splash. I'm just like that. So I'm going to just erase some of the edges here, and see how much smoother that looks. Look at that. You can't even tell. So there's actually a little bit on Hulk too, so I'm going to zoom in. Yeah, zoom in a little bit on him. See the line there? Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that. Gonna just erase that. Actually, I'm gonna move it over again with my arrow tool. I want to match up with Hulk's arm a little better. There we go. So scrolling over, back with the eraser tool. Just gonna make sure that looks nice and good, and There we go. That looks pretty good, right? Do you guys see any other lines over on the side here from any residue from pasting it over there? Anybody see anything? Maz Toy Box says, howdy, Jared. Rakesh says, I would recommend Snapseed. Snapseed, actually, I haven't really used much of it, but it is a really great, just free app. You can do tons of stuff with photos on there. Totally. But I mean, I'm gonna say this, just if doing this is possible for you, getting actual Photoshop is possible, I would, and no matter how intimidating it might be, it's so worth having and getting used to. It really is. Cobra Captures, how's it going, man? Oh, Lucan says, looks good. Got to get rid of those skewers now. That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, honestly, getting rid of those skewers is not going to be easy. There's a lot of them. They're thick. And honestly, I forgot to... If I had taken another photo, I always forget. Taking another photo without the cake there and without the skewers, and then I could have... Yeah, that would have been really easy. But we can do it. We can definitely do it. It's going to be even more difficult because there's sprinkles there, too. But we can do it. So, alright, let's look at all these layers we have so far. That's actually not too bad. Okay, so we pretty much got all of that, so that's really great. That's really great. Rakesh says, do you use 2 computers? I do have 2 screens right now, actually, but just the one computer on my laptop. And I'm only using 2 computers right now because I'm streaming live with you guys. But usually I just use my little cheapo, actually pretty cheapo laptop. So I'm pretty much good with this photo. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to exit out of there. And so I got one more picture here. So I got some splashes coming right out of the can. So I'm going to take my lasso tool and draw this just like that. I'm going to Control C. It's going to overlap a little bit. Actually, not too much. And then Control Shift V to paste in place. And there it is. It is overlapping a little bit, but we can, wait a sec. There we go. Yeah, it is overlapping a little bit, but it's all right. It's actually pretty good. Pretty good, actually. All right. So, my mom, thanks, Mom. She said, I'm really enjoying this and it's turning out great. Thanks. I'm I'm glad. It's such a wacky picture, and honestly, the more I'm looking at it, there's all this empty space right here in the middle of the picture, and I don't like that so much. Don't like that, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, so Dan Anthony says, nice edit. Thanks, you guys. I'm glad you're liking it so far. But I gotta do some work over here to help with this this paste right here that I made. So let's go to this tool. So maybe I can move it a little bit. So I'm gonna actually, a lot of times when I try to move something to line up, I zoom really close in to a very specific little detail. So I'm gonna look at this square, and I'm gonna try and look at that square to match it up. So I'm using my keyboard. Also gonna look right here at this line. So as long as this one thing matches up, everything else should match up pretty good. And I'll just do this for a while until it looks good. And it won't always match up perfectly. I think that's probably as good as it's gonna get. There's still a line, and also I might have budged the camera a little bit, but it looks better. So I'm gonna go back to my eraser again, and I'm just gonna go through here, and just a little drop there. And I'm just gonna erase some edges. You know, that little splash doesn't have to be there. Okay, so over here it looks pretty good, but there's still some big splashes that I don't want to lose over here. I don't want to lose those splashes. So I'm going to make my brush a little smaller so I can be a little bit more precise. And I'm just going to start erasing some of the empty space. Actually, what I like to do often is hide my background layer. And so I'm going to hide also, you don't have to do this. This is just so I can see better what I'm looking at here. So I'm just going to erase all the little sections of this thing I pasted in that don't include splashes. So if I don't need these splashes to be here, they might not get in the way of overlapping other splashes, you know? So let's see how that looks. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. There might be some more that I can get rid of here. So this is it. Okay, see, there's one. This little splash group right here. I would really like to keep. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, and doing this by erasing little pieces really can help, you know, two things blend into looking like one, for sure. So there's that. I like that. And also one really helpful thing, if you push Control-0, it just puts it right back in place, which is really great. Maj Toyback says, you may want to play around with layer mask in the future, less destructive. Yes, you know what? Yeah, I'm very familiar with layer masks, and actually, my girlfriend Jana, who's also pretty great with Photoshop too, she's always telling me to to use masks instead, because yeah, you can do like lights and darks, and then you don't have to like control. But yeah, I know. You know, honestly, one day I'll probably do that. But this is just like I've got this like system. But yeah, she tells me all the time, and you know, I probably should. Sonic Burst says, wow, so much work for one photo. You know what? That's the beauty of it. I want to make this one photo as cool as I can make it. And it's fun. I enjoy this. So I don't think I really need to... You know, actually this little drop right here, I like that on his arm. So I'm going to erase some of that. So we gotta like that drop. So there we go. Anything else in there that I should... No. I think that's pretty good as far as the Mountain Dew goes. It looks like it's coming out of the can, right? I hope so. It doesn't look like it's a very full can, but it's quite alright. And I gotta say, this Hulk figure was so perfect. I didn't put any sticky tack or anything in his hands to make him hold it. I just stuck the can in there and he held it. That was awesome. So thank you. Thanks, Bruce, for doing that. Moz Toyback says, right, I get you. I have a system too. It's a lot of haze. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Oh, whoa, sweetheart Harley's here. Hey, babe. Tomorrow's my birthday. Yay. Thanks. Thanks, babe. And actually, the fact that this is a cake photo and that tomorrow is my birthday, there's no correlation there at all. There definitely is not. Okay, so as far as effects go, I think we're pretty good. I don't know. Does it be honest with me? Does it really look like? I mean, I know there's still there's sticks and stuff in the way, but does it look like the Hulk is kicking the cake? Does it look like he's kicking it, and that the reason why this cake is floating is because of him kicking it? Or does it just look like, why is there a piece of cake floating? I always try to ask myself, like, does it actually look like this? I know it looks like this because it's my photo and that's what I thought of. But be honest with me, does it look like that? Does it look like he's doing that? Please tell me. Everybody, thank you so much for being here, everyone. Okay, Sonic Burst says yes, it does. Jakku, don't you worry, man. I will 100%. Don't. Takes me a little bit sometimes, I promise, but don't you worry, my friend. Okay. So, okay, Frank says yes. Rakshasa says yes. Yes. All right, cool. So, let's... Actually, okay, so I don't need this photo anymore, so so the only other photo that I want to add in here is this one for the lighting. And, yeah, you know, I'm going to do that now before I get rid of the sticks. And so people ask me questions about this all the time, because I'll show in my behind the scenes videos. I'll be like, okay, here's a video of an explosion. Okay, here's a video of this, and then here's a video of me holding my Loom Cube over the picture. And so this is what I'm doing when I'm holding the Loom Cube over the picture. I'm taking a separate photo of just like a well-lit Hulk and a well-lit Mountain Dew can, so then I can layer in the lighting, just like I did with everything else. Pretty much the same way. So I'm going to draw a nice little box right here around Hulk. I don't know how much of this I'm going to use. And sometimes when I do this, the lighting will look either extra realistic or sometimes it'll look very unrealistic, but at the same time it'll still make the character pop, it'll make the colors work, and it looks nice. So I'm not always necessarily looking for that super realism. But yeah. Thanks, babe. Thanks, sweetheart Harley, for sending the $5 super chat. Thank you, babe. Thank you, babe. Siva! Thank you, sir. You guys, you don't have to do this for my birthday. I'm telling you right now, you certainly do not have to do this because it's my birthday. Just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, my mom says, yes, cake on foot. Wait, was that what the Hulk says? Yeah, probably. So, this is what I'm going to do. Control, Shift, and V. So, basic pasting in place again. So, what I'm going to do that's different than this is I'm going to change my layer type. And my layer type here is going to be lighten. So do you see that? So this is what it looks like when the layer type is at normal. The lighten layer type will kind of take all of the dark elements in the layer and it'll make them kind of translucent. All of the dark elements. So if you're using a black background, anything black is completely clear afterwards. Wow, I'm getting really washed out now from this. Whatever. Sorry, but anything dark will automatically become translucent, and the darker it is, the more translucent it is too. So the lighter things become not translucent. So that's why all of the light on the Hulk is still showing. So normal, everything's there, and then lighten, boom. So this is what I use primarily when I am trying to layer in fireworks, because the fireworks are very bright, but then the background is usually very dark. So that's why I usually use this. So I'm going to keep it on lighten, and I'm going to show you a couple other things that are really great with using. Tom, thank you, my dude. Thank you, you guys. I'm telling you right now, you guys are amazing, and I love you guys. But you really don't have to send me anything for my birthday. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Seriously, thank you so much. So this layer is basically just some lighting. So it's a little more bright. Actually, I kind of like how bright he is. So we'll see. So what I'm going to do, so there's a little bit of, you can see the difference here. That's not good. There's a bunch of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Image, and I'm going to adjust this layer. So Adjustments, I'm going to go to the Curves. And so the curves, I guess in a nutshell, I hate how big the window is. The curves in a nutshell will you can brighten brights, you can darken darks, you can medium mediums, you can medium brights, you can turn any, you can pinpoint a light or a dark and you can make it lighter or darker or whatever. So I'm going to make the darkers dark, so down here is dark, and then I'm going to make the lighter, actually I'm going to make the darkers a little bit darker, and then the lighters a little bit lighter, just like that. And so if I click on that looks really good, actually. I like that. So this preview button, see the difference from that to this? And it also made the Hulk a little bit more saturated too, and he looks really good. That's when I look at my screen, he looks a lot more, it looks better. He looks really, really green and saturated on the stream screen that I'm looking at. So it's not quite that super ultra green, but he looks a little better on here. So I'm going to keep that. That looks really good. I like that a lot. So there's still some lines here. You guys, Dima, thank you, dude, with $5. Tucker, my brother, is in here. Tucker Middleton is here. And he put $10. Thanks, dude. This is, alright, thank you guys. Thanks for the birthday stuff. Seriously, I shouldn't have even told you guys it was my birthday. the lines here, they're still so obvious, so I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to go back to my eraser tool the same way I was doing it earlier with the sprinkles and stuff. I'm going to make the brush a little bigger. And that's actually really big. That's pretty good. And I'm just going to erase these lines. There we go. Just like that. All of that. Getting rid of it down here. A little bit. And I think I got it all, right? Is there anything else I need to get? And so the main reason why I took this extra photo, obviously I wanted the lighting to look better on the Hulk. Duh. I mean, that's so important. But I also really wanted to make sure the Mountain Dew can logo was very, very clear. So then, you know, when I post this, hopefully Mountain Dew will see it and they'll be like, that's cool. We want you to work for us and we want to... Who knows? Or maybe they would like it or share it or something like that, you know. And so that's why I did that. And so this whole light, I could erase this as much as I want. If I wanted to get rid of this down here a little bit, if I wanted to have his face dark, I could do that, but I don't want to do that. I actually really like it the way it is. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so yes. This is like I've said a million times. Thank you guys so much for being here. Seriously, this has been there's been like 45 to 50 people the entire time. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh, thank you so stinking much. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope that this is beneficial. I hope this is a good video. Like I said, this is very experimental. I'm still getting used to all this live stuff. So I think the next thing is Tucker as cool as Jared, says Tom. I wouldn't say he's quite as cool. I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's for you to decide. So let's start getting rid of these things. And so I'm gonna use the same exact methods I used in my wire how to use and how to remove video that's in my tutorial. I'm going to use the same exact technique. I think a lot of people don't always agree with the technique I do because it is kind of destructive. I'm going to be using the clone tool. Yes. Robbie says, what version of Photoshop is this? It is the most recent up-to-date version. I actually updated it yesterday. So I don't really know what. I think it's the newest, up-to-date. Before I start toy photography, do I still need to find my Figma Saber? Yes, you gotta find that, Dan. Liquid Momentum says, I just came and I was wondering why the cake is floating. ... Good question. Hulk is smashing the cake. He's kicking it. He's kicking the cake. Hopefully it looks like that. So let's start getting rid of these wires. I'm gonna do the easy part first. I'm gonna get rid of this one. So man, whenever the background is complicated like this, it just makes it more difficult for me. So I got because this was taken on my deck outside, and there's the deck stuff in the background. So I'm gonna go to my clone tool right here, and I'm going to. Oh, actually, you know what? Sorry. Before I do that, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. It's a scary thing. But I'm gonna merge all my layers. So I got all these layers with the Hulk lighting. Oh, it's going really slow. Hulk lighting, and we got the splashies right there, and we got those splashies, and we got sprinkles, all these different layers. And I'm gonna combine them all into one, because if I try to go through and just fix these, I'm just gonna fix one little layer of sticks and another little layer of sticks. No, I gotta fix all the sticks all at once. Fix the sticks. So let's merge visible. It's always scary when I do this. There we go, merge visible. Look at all that. And there we go. Tanner says, hey Tanner, this is an awesome video. I'm learning lots from you, dude. Oh, you just made my night. That's exactly what I want. I want this to be super helpful. So thank you, man, for watching, and thanks for saying that. I'm really glad that this is helpful for sure. Tom says, can you figure out how to add some frosting to his foot or a chunk of cake on his toes? You know what? I was thinking that I might be able to do something, because I wish that there was a little bit more on his foot. Because I even went through all of, like, if I went to here and looked at all the other photos I had. Oop, those are really old pictures. But all these other pictures that I took, all of these, I didn't have any, I didn't take any where there were sprinkles or frosting on his actual foot, and I definitely regret that. Definitely regret it now. Hey guys, well, the camera's changed a little bit. So, yeah, I might be able to try and figure something out here, but yeah. All right, so let's get rid of these these sticks. So first, let's get rid of this one. I'm gonna start from the bottom. I'm gonna use the clone tool. So the clone tool, the way it works is if you hold Alt, you choose a section in which you would like to basically mimic, you know, and copy and clone, and you click. I clicked right there, and I'm going to be mimicking that spot where I draw. So here we go. There we go, a little bit. And so I just screwed up a little bit, but that's okay. And this is going to be a long process. I'm telling you right now, you guys, it's going to be a long process. Yeah, it is. But you know what? That's all right. That is all right. So I'm going to mimic right here now. Right there. It's very slow, very, very slow. Mimic here. Get rid of that. Oh, that looks a little rough, actually. Right here. There we go. That doesn't look too terrible. And later on, I mean, see how it doesn't look super clear, but later on I'll go back and I can kind of soften it up to make it look a little bit better. So love the quick key info, says Steve. Oh yeah, I'm really glad that there's probably so many quick keys that I don't know. So I'm gonna mimic right here and go through all of this too. So I'm gonna have to make my brush a little smaller. There we go. Oh, hang on. Siva says, I'm never going to unsee those wooden sticks, LOL. I know, right? Yeah. Once you knew that they were there, it's hard to not see them as not being there. I totally, yeah, I totally get that. Dima says, Jared's about to do some voodoo magic to get rid of them. That would be so much easier if I actually knew voodoo magic and I could do that to get rid of the sticks. That would be so much easier. I wouldn't even need to use them. I could just make them float while I'm taking the picture. That would be sick. That would be amazing. Alright, I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. That's really good. Using the smaller brush is, like, I actually don't really like using it only when I have to, because bigger brush usually just blends better in general. But when I have to, it's okay. And hopefully this blends alright. And I was a little bit off. So I'm going to start over again right here and just go. And there we go. So I'm going to fix that later on. So this white blending with the light is going to be awesome. Oh, it's going to be really easy. I'm going to go back to my bigger one for now. Like I said, this is going to be a slow and painful process. This is the point where if I'm editing by myself, my head's like right here looking at it. Like, what? I'm like going super slow, and I'm probably making the weirdest faces. Toys Through Lenses says, hi Jared, just joined, but I'm definitely watching the whole thing tomorrow and the day after until I get it right. Ha! Dude, that is awesome. I mean, I hope that this ends up being helpful enough to the point you would want to do that. Seriously, that's... Whoa, hang on. Let's Control-C that. Or Control-Z that. Because there is a big green butt-looking bicep right there. So I'm gonna... yeah, I'm gonna make my brush a little smaller. Let's get rid of this. here we go. Mimic some white up here and just paint it away. So if you see, actually, you probably, I can't point at it, but there's a little cross, little button thing, little arrow, cross, plus sign. That's what I'm actually mimicking at the very moment. So see, yeah, that's what I'm actually drawing. Boom. All right, that looks pretty good. Not too bad. The Gunpla creator, Gunpla, says, hey man. CHS Bayhawk says, Sirdork, can you please show us how to make color adjustments, adjusting light exposure? Yeah, I'll probably do a little bit of color adjustment. I'm not sure. It's very, very bright, vibrant already, so I'm not sure how much I will do. But this is definitely not the only editing session that I plan on doing. I'm going to be doing this a lot. I would like to do it a lot because, first of all, it's fun. And I think that it's just a great way for me to share things with you guys. So I'll definitely be doing ones with color stuff. I might even do some that are just like specifically for like color stuff. All right, so is that it? Did I get the whole stick? Yay! Okay, so it's just about gone. So there's a little bit of weird stuff down there. It's a little bit of weird stuff. See how this looks a little, I mean, if you didn't already know it was there, you wouldn't really be able to tell, you know. But, so I'm going to still try to get rid of it, though. So I'm going to get some bigger brush. And I'm going to just put some little, some stuff on there to make it blend a little better. So there's some nice green all the way up here. So you can see some green all the way up here. And I'm going to take some of the green from there and I'm going to put it here to make it look a little better. So I'm going to mimic right there. And I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to do it again. And if you look at that, that looks pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. Whoop. Excuse me, pop-up. I would really like you to go away now. Sorry, I don't know why this is here. Go away. Pop-up. Seriously, like, get the heck out of here. There we go. Okay. So yeah, that looks good down there. I don't think I need to do any more over here. What do you think? Does that look all right under the Hulk's back? Does it look okay? Are we looking pretty good? What are you clicking on? Doesn't seem to be visible. Yeah, sorry, it's probably really hard to see. So what I was doing was I was mimicking. So here we go, mimicking some of the green from up here to put it over here because I wanted to fix a little bit of that. Ronin Photography. Hey man, says Jared, I got an idea for stream series. How about I call it Toy Talk? Oh yeah, just like a toy. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's honestly, I want to have something like a Toy Talk like every single episode. I mean, these ones are a little bit more. We're focusing on editing, but yeah, I want to talk about toys every single episode, and we can just have Toy Talk kind of specific episodes too. I like that a lot, and I actually already have some ideas for that. All right, this is gonna be difficult. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be a huge pain. Gonna be a huge pain. And so like when you do stuff like this and you edit stuff like this more and more, whenever you set up your photos, you kind of anticipate stuff while you're editing. So like you learn more and more about editing and how to set up better because you want to like, oh well, I should have put this here. That would have been a lot easier to edit. So you learn more and more the more you do stuff like this. Mezzo's Toy Box looking great there. Good luck on the cake. Awesome. Tanner says it's looking good. Looks clean. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. So I'm going to use this fresh piece of kind of wood over here, and I'm going to use it to help get rid of those. So I'm going to make my, I'm going to keep my brush like that, actually. So I'm going to, yeah, there, and I'm going to just, there we go. Ah, you know what? I gotta do that one over again. The brush was too big. It was picking up the edge of the screen there. There we go. So let's do this here. Right, that doesn't look too bad. Zoom in a little bit more, not that much. Oh, this is such a pain. This is gonna be difficult. This is gonna be really difficult. Just saying. So I'm gonna go back here, take some of this color, get rid of this. And that little piece of cake is gonna have to go. It's gonna have to go. So there's still a little bit of stick in the cake, so I'm just gonna use more cake to get rid of it. So I'm just gonna copy some of the cake and put it just like that. And this edge right here doesn't look too clean. If you can tell, it doesn't look too super clean. So I'm gonna try and take some of this edge and put it there. And there we go. It looks alright. I can fix it later on, hopefully. So let's get rid of this. This is rough right here. Hang on, I'm getting really thirsty. I have a drink. Sorry. And alright, this might be loud. Sorry. Dima says, I'm sure the entire photo will turn out awesome. Incredible what you've already done. It was super interesting to watch, but I'm going to head out. Also, man, have a great B-Day. Hope it's a blast. Thank you, Dima. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for being here. Hopefully see you soon, dude. Whew, okay, so I'm going to actually make my brush really small for this one. So I'm going to use this edge right here to try and help me clean up this edge a little bit. So there we go. All right, that doesn't look too bad. Just a little bit right here. This white is going to be easy to get rid of because it's just it's going to be easy to get rid of. And this is how every single editing sesh goes. It'll take me forever to get rid of stuff like this. Sometimes more than others. There are some editing, some photos that are just like easy. But then there are ones that are way harder than this. Sometimes it's nobody's fault. Sometimes it's my own fault. But every time I go through something like this, I learn something for the next time. So we're getting real precise here. Getting rid of this and there. Alright, so let's see how that looks down. Okay, the cake down there looks really good. Okay, this looks good. This looks pretty good so far. We're doing okay. Dan Anthony says, can you do more Dragon Ball toy photography? Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I don't shoot enough DBZ and stuff like that. Nick Burkhead says, what's up? Sorry I'm late. Hey man, thanks for being here. Thanks so much, my friend. Alright, now let's get rid of the next one. Right here with the sprinkles, that's going to be a pain. I might just clone some sprinkles on their own to add more sprinkles. That actually might work pretty well. Alright, so I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger. I'm going to use this edge right here to help this edge. And here we go. Nice, that is looking pretty good. Getting rid of that. And there's a little bit of line going on here, which is, you can see it, but that's all right. I can fix it, later on. And so this edge right here, I'm going to use the other edge of the cake to make it very clear edge. Because sometimes getting the edges of things is super difficult because you have to like paint it ever so perfectly. But if you can just take the edge of another piece of something and bring it to the edge over here, it makes everything so much easier. It really does. Toy Addict says it looks amazing. Thank you, dude. Joshua Brannan says, hello, sir. How's it going? It's going really, really well. It's going good. Thank you for being here, dude. Thank you, man. All right, so this part won't be too bad. It's pretty much just this gray. Maybe down here might be tough. We'll see. I'm going to use this red edge for down here. It might look weird at first, but I'm going to try and fix it. Okay, there we go. Not looking half bad over here. I'm going to use this edge. All right. That was actually much easier than I thought. And so now that you like know all these little details that I fixed, it makes it easier for you to point them out in the long run. So like if you didn't know, see like over here, this looks fake now right here, doesn't it? Because it looks like I messed with it. It does, but if you weren't watching this, you might not realize that it looks fake. And so this right here also doesn't look too good. It's a little bit off, so I'm going to try and fix that. Steve Morrow says, looking good so far. I once spent an hour and 30 minutes to remove a dude in my photos. Man, I've been there. I remember one time I was editing Blastoise. I don't remember what picture it was, but I just remember Blastoise was being there, and I was just stuck. I couldn't fix the wire. Just no matter what I did, I could not do it. I'm going to try and use this edge right here. And I'm not sure if that'll really work or not. That looks alright. Okay, that looks good. That looks pretty good. Okay, so see how this looks fake now? Because it looks like I doubled up and got these lines here. So I'm going to go back and make my brush bigger. Not that big. That's good. And I'm going to use some of the green over here that looks good. And I'm going to clone it and just do some of this. And that kind of cleans it up. Right? Doesn't look too bad. Cool. We're doing okay. We're not doing too bad. This part, it might be tough because of all the sprinkles. I didn't think about how much of the sprinkles are going to be in the spot where I need to get rid of the wires. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough. Okay, all right. Let's go. Hopefully these sprinkles don't get in the way. So, by the way, I am using the clone tool right now to get rid of some of this stuff. If you're just joining, there's a nice little angle here. Maybe I can use the white here. See how that looks. That edge looks good or not. It doesn't look that bad. I'm going to stick with it. Okay. Let's start getting rid of the wire. Or the thing right through here. And all right. No. I hate when I do that. Okay, one little bit at a time. Doesn't look, it looks a little weird. That looks a little weird from afar. I'm gonna have to fix that later on, but it's easier to fix that than it is to fix something worse. So next time, remove the sticks before you merge the sprinkles you added. Yeah, see, Tom, that was what I was thinking, but unfortunately, all the sprinkles I added also had sticks in them. So everything had sticks, you know. So there was no avoiding it. What I should have done was tried to have sprinkles or put sticks in areas that would not have sprinkles in them. That's what I should have done. That is definitely what I should have done. So I'm going to get a little bit of a bigger brush here. I'm going to go down here. And I'm just going to start getting rid of stuff. Getting rid of stuff. That sprinkle's just going to have to go. So I'm actually going to use right here to mimic the gray down there. Oh, so, okay, I'm unintentionally putting more sprinkles. So I put a couple more sprinkles down there. I might get rid of those, depending on how good or bad they look. It's actually not looking too bad. Right there looks fake, so I'm gonna fix that. So let's see here. Alt. There we go. So every time you see this icon, it's when I'm choosing something to mimic. You probably can hear me clicking, which hopefully that might help. The microphone, I'm sure, is picking that up. All right, Dan says the photo is now getting nice. All right. Brush is too hard on that line right here. Yeah, right here. I'm getting that right there on that line. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. I am definitely gonna have to fix that. Look at all these nice colors, all these bright colors, right? I can now see the importance of taking some shots without floating cake and sprinkles. Yeah, I forget that all the time. I forget it all the gosh darn time, man. And I forgot it with this shot. You know, you would think that I would remember something like that when I'm gonna try and like live stream it in front of potentially hundreds or maybe thousands of different people. You would think that I would do that, you know, but I didn't. But in the end, we are going to fix everything, and it's gonna look good. We are not going to leave this Photoshop until it looks totally good. So let's look at it from afar. It looks a little rough. Looks a little rough, but looks a little rough right here. But we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. We are definitely going to fix it. So what we're gonna do to fix it, we're gonna take some big, let's see, bigger brushes, and we're going to do that. We're gonna draw. Ooh, no, that doesn't look good. Does not look good. Okay. And all right, that doesn't look as bad. That looks pretty good. See, those sprinkles that I accidentally put in there are actually kind of in the way. All right, see, it's getting better. It's getting better, right? It's getting better. See, now that doesn't look too bad. I'm still going to go through and I'm going to soften it up a little bit more in the end. Soft brush the dark, reduce the flow as well, says Maz. The brush is actually already really soft. It's actually as soft as you can get, my friend. And reduce the flow. Actually, that's not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea. But down here, it looks like it could use a little bit of work. Soften this up a little bit. That looks okay. What else looks off? There's a little bit of a line right there that I want to get rid of. It's really, really slight. So I'm going to make the brush actually. Oh, I just added an extra sprinkle, and that's okay. All right. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I'm still going to soften it up a little bit here more as well. But, oh, that's it. There's no more wires. Okay, cool. So I guess I can soften it up right now. All right, and like I said, thank you guys so much for being here. Seriously, thank you guys. Hang Solo, how's it going, man? Jared, do you ever hide things in your pictures like some artists do? No, you know, I never really, I never really think about that. I think that would be really fun, but yeah, I just never think about it. I gotta start doing that. That sounds like it would be a ton of fun. And Maz's Toy Box says, it's looking much better now. I'm so glad to hear it. How is it looking so far? I need your validation. Be honest with me. Tell me what needs to be fixed. Be honest with me. I wasn't planning on asking you guys for all this help, but now that you're here, I'm like, please help me more. Alright, I'm going to take a bigger brush, and I'm going to mimic right here. No, that's not going to look good. Alright, so what I also can do is I can just kind of take the Band-Aid tool. So there's a little Band-Aid tool right here. And whenever I just have like really small things that I can kind of get rid of, that I want to just make a little nicer, I'll just do that. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't. That doesn't look good. Does not look good. If I do a little bit less, I feel like it looks okay. Let's see if I do that. How does that look? Honestly, this is what I do all the time with Photoshop. I'm just like experimenting with stuff. Like, does that look good? Yeah, looks okay. There's a couple little other things actually that worked out okay. I'm gonna leave that. And you can't see it so much when you're up close, but from far away you can kind of see. There's a little bit of a line here from when I was, when I was getting rid of that. And I would like to, okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty, oh no, it's not all gone. It is not all gone, you guys. See this? Gotta get rid of that. I wonder if I can just use the Band-Aid tool for that. No. Nope. Definitely not. I wish the toes on his foot were a little more outstretched. Yeah, I know. Actually, I've been wishing that when I was posing him. That would have made things easier. Yeah, for sure. Mazda says, last thing is that piece of cake on the top. I would clone that and put some on his foot with it. Yeah, I really want to try and put something on his foot. I really want to try. See, the thing is when I do that, oh, I actually got it right here. What I'm afraid of that is because I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off to the point where it won't look like I don't want it to look photoshopped. And so, I know it's possible to do that and to pull it off. It's just I don't know if I can. So I might do it. I might not. I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. We'll see what I can do. Nope. Nope. Smaller. There we go. Ah, that stupid sprinkle. Killing me, sprinkle. I mean, I love that you're there because it looks good. There we go. That looks okay. Looks all right. Okay, here we go. Getting there. All right, that looks okay. I'm gonna take the brush a little bit here again to make that a little smoother. That did not make it smoother. So move back to the clone tool. I'm telling you, every time, like, whenever, I'm always like experimenting all at the same time while I'm doing this stuff. Ah, that still needs to be fixed for sure. Yeah, see what I'm with adding my own shadows to it. That's what, because whenever you're messing with whenever I try to add my own shadows, that's the line where it ends up looking fake, and that's the tough part. That's where, because my shadows end up really just looking bad. I'm not sure if I'll do it, to be honest. Maybe if I add like a chunk of cake or something, that might work. But yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, that looks good. That looks pretty good. So also you can't even really see this down here, but there is still. Oh no! I hate when that happens. I zoom in and I click where I want to zoom, and then it starts drawing. There we go. Outer Rim Juvenile says, "Sir, I told you I'd be back." Yes. Thanks for being back, my friend. I'm just going to do this part a little bit because it's so slight and you can't even really tell it's there. Okay, a little bit of blue here. A sprinkle. And then, nope. And that's good. I don't think I need to do any more than that there. All right. As far as the yellow goes, and as far as everywhere where a stick was, how does that look? I think it looks all right. I think it looks pretty good. Does Control Alt Scroll adjust the size of your clone tool? Does it? Control Alt Scroll. Oh, it does. Did it? I don't know. I don't think it did. Maybe I didn't do it right. I'm also using my the little like square thing on my laptop, so I don't have the actual roller, which would have been very, very nice. Hello, good morning, Sirdork, says Melvin. I've been doing today and every day a live talk show on my action figures. That is fantastic, Melvin. I'm really glad to hear that, dude. Send that over to me. I would love to see it. Send that over to me. Dan, thank you, man. Thank you for checking out the show. I seriously appreciate it, my friend. All right, let's see what I can do about getting some cake on his foot. Let's see what I can do here. To be honest, I don't think it's going to work for me. I don't think. I'm going to try maybe cloning a little bit on here since the top is going to be smaller than that. I don't like that. Do not like that at all, actually. I do want to add a little bit more sprinkles just around his foot, though. Just a couple little ones. So, let's see. Let's make a little thing. I'm going to clone this green one. Excuse me. I'm going to do this and put that there. Very, very slight little thing. I actually don't have a lot of sprinkles that I can clone because I have all these colors behind me in my background. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Fix the post edge near green you touched up earlier. Green blurs into it. I feel too much. Over here, it is a little strong there, but I think that's how it was. But you know what? It does look a little off, even if that is how it did look. There we go. It's a little bit softer now. Now it looks a little too similar to the other one, though, so I'm going to just do this. That looks kind of weird. Maybe just a little bit. I just don't want it to look exactly the same as it did over there. That looks okay. Cool. Have yourself a good night. Feliz cumpleaños. Have a good one. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. You are awesome. All right, so I don't think I'm going to add any frosting on his foot. I think that I don't have the skills to make that look real. I know I could put it on there, but I don't think I have the skills to actually make it look real, to be honest. The other side, I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Over here? Over here? Over here. Oh, right here. Oh, you know what? Yeah. That right here, that's still there. I do want to fix that, Tom. Get a little bit of darker green too. I think that was a good call. That was a good call, my friend. All right. Cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna mess with some. I'm not gonna really mess with the colors so much. I like the fact that this is so colorful. There's so much colors going on. CHBS Bayhawk says, "Happy birthday, man. We love you. I love you too. I do a lot. Thank you guys again for everything." So what I do pretty much with every photo is I will go to my curves, kind of like I did with the lighting on Hulk before. And I'm just going to make some really small, brighten the brights, darken the darks a little bit. It honestly, just that little bit does a lot. Yeah, you know what? That looks good, just like that. So, alright. Can you move the chuck cake you added? The chuck cake you added on top of the tip of the foot, like over here. I don't know. I really would like to have something on his foot. Let me see if I have any other photos that would have another chip or chunk of something that I can look in. Let's see if I go back here. Let's take a look at what I got again. If there's any other ones with a chunk of cake that I could put. This is just sprinkles. Already using this one. This chunk of cake. It's gotta have a similar background to where the background is on his foot too. So I gotta also make sure that is there. This one, I don't want to use the same chunk. I don't want to have two of the exact same chunks. Just because then it looked like I copied the chunk. I would rather have. Okay, this is something I might be able to do something with. All right, so I'm gonna take this and sorry, you probably can't see what I'm doing, but I'm gonna add this in. So we're gonna go back to Photoshop, and so I have this. Sorry, I have this right here. And I think I might be able to do something with it. The lighting of this photo does not match the lighting of this photo, but I can fix some stuff. So I'm gonna grab this right here, and I'm gonna see what I can do with that. See if there's something I can do with adding it in here. So we got this like that. The stinking yellow that's on there. Okay. So let's start erasing some stuff. Hopefully this works. Hi, Kermit the Frog here is dabbing. Thanks, dude. All right. Let's start getting rid of. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of all of this. I thought I might want to use that, but. You know what? This chunk might actually work. It might work. Just to have a little... It's not going to be on the foot. There's not going to be any chunk on the foot. But this chunk next to the foot might just work. So we're going to make my brush a little bit smaller. And we're going to erase some of the stuff here. All right. Let's see. It's a little bit big of a chunk. I'm gonna erase a little bit more. It's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad. It's not looking too bad. That dude's dapping. Bruce, hey man! Thanks for being here, Bruce. What time is it over by you, Bruce? Aren't you like really far away? Or am I mixing, or am I thinking the wrong thing here? I swore you were really far away. Alright, you know what? This isn't looking too bad, this little chunk. That dude says not too shabby. That looks real. I mean, it's a very slight thing, but that looks like it's there. That actually does look like it's there. I don't think there's really much else to do. I'm just using my eraser tool to get rid of some of the other colors that were behind it. Mandible Smasher, hey man! Happy birthday, you don't look a day over 28.5. Thank you, well I am actually 29.0 as of tomorrow, so thank you, dude. You're too much, man. Thank you. Literally every single stream you've been here. Thank you, man. Alright. Whew, sorry. It's not easy talking for this long. Whew, I'm getting thirsty. Rakshith said it's morning in India. 8:35 in the morning. So that little chunk here worked. I think that was really good. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, or what I'm going to do next, is I'm going to kind of accentuate the details on the Hulk's face. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten his eyes up. What I love to do with characters that are kind of cartoonish, not always, but I mean he's cartoonish. Excuse me. I'm going to take the dodge tool right here, which the dodge tool lightens things. So under the range, I'm going to keep it under highlights. So I'm only going to be lightening the highlights. So his eyes are already white, which is great. So I'm going to, oop, I'm not on the right layer. I'm going to merge these layers again. There we go. Bruce Brown says it's 1:05 in the afternoon in Australia. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Tom says it's small detail in that really helps give the impression he kicked it. Ah, yes. Can his eyes glow? I could make his eyes glow. I don't think I want to do that. I think that might look a little too much. So I'm just going to just brighten them up. That's actually it's a little bit too much. My exposure's at 52%. I'm going to turn it down to 27. Turn down my size a little bit too. And I'm just going to brighten up his eyeballs so they really just pop out at you. And you know what? Maybe I'll make his teeth whiter too. That looks good. I feel like I could. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to darken it around his eyes a little bit. So I'm gonna take the burn tool, and I'm going to darken the shadows around his just a little bit. Because just so the contrast, so I'm darkening the shadows around his eyes, giving him some bags under the eyes. And so what that'll do really is just make the white in his eyes pop a little bit more. And like I said, yeah, it's really slight, but I think that will help a little bit. Dodge. Cool. I think that looks good. I think that looks really good. I wish my teeth were whiter, says that dude. Yeah, same here. Adrian, how's it going, man? Thanks for being here. Raksha says, did you see the light painting of the car? I would love to know your opinion on it. I'm not sure if I did see that one. If I didn't, if I haven't said anything on it yet, man, send it over to me one more time, and I will happily do it. I would love to take a look at it. So sometimes what I'll do also here is I'll go, so he's got a lot of little creases and shadows on his body and his face, and I want to kind of make those even more even stronger. I want them to be even stronger. So I'm going to take the burn tool over here, which darkens, and I'm just going to darken up some of the darks. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. And yeah, I'm just going to darken some of the darks a little bit. I want the shadows to be a little darker, so that basically just extra accentuates all the little details on him. This too, yeah, here we go. Yeah, just give some extra, I don't know, what's a good word for that when we're making the, we're adding that extra contrast. Makes a lot of different things pop that weren't really popping that much before, Down right here too. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot on his nose right there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Also, oh, Ronin Photography, thank you for being here, man. I will see you around. Thank you so much, dude, for being here. Cool. All right. I'm going to also, I'm going to make the Mountain Dew a little bit more. I'm going to make that pop too. So I'm going to change this back to the Dodge tool. And I'm going to take the white that is around here. I'm going to lighten up the white around the letters. Yeah. Really want to pop. Ooh, you know what else I want to do? I'm going to go on a lot of these droplets. I like doing this with water effects a lot, and I just want to lighten them up because it makes it look like the sun is really passing through them quite a bit more. And I like that just exaggerated sparkle, basically, So I'm lightening up the sparkles a little bit. Yeah, that's such a slight little difference, but it looks good. Okay, so maybe I will also take my sponge tool, which can saturate, can also desaturate, and it's at 100%. I'm going to slightly lighten up the can too. I want the can to really look real strong. I want it to be nice and saturated. So how's the difference there? Not a whole lot. I'm going to give it one more round. The sponge tool. That looks good. It clearly looks like the Mountain Dew thing. Not an edit question, but how do you clean the figures after the photo shoot? Actually, I think it's I think that is very relevant question, especially when I was doing this Hulk with the cake. I just give them a rinse in the sink. Wash them. Sometimes I'll take a Clorox wipe too, and I'll try to get some stuff in there. So yeah, Adrian says such an awesome shot. Love those flying sprinkles. Thanks, dude. And like I said, this, I don't know if it's looking like this on your end, but the Hulk and just about everything looks way more saturated than it actually is on my end. I'm actually going to brighten up the colors on some of the cake too. I like super ultra vibrant colors, like so much that when you're scrolling you're like, whoa, Jesus, that is really bright. I like that. We're almost done. We're actually getting close to the end here. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. So another thing I want to do, and I do this to just about every single photos, I'll add some lens flares. Sometimes you can't even really tell that they're a lens flare. They're more like just kind of like a big shine or a sparkle. So I will usually add them on a specific place in the photo where there's already some shine, so that it doesn't look too fake. It looks like it's already shining and somewhere shiny. It doesn't look out of place. So right here on the Mountain Dew can, there's a glare. There's a glare right there. So to add a lens flare, it's actually really, really easy. I'm going to go to Filter and go to Render and then go to Lens Flare. And it's going to pop up this little screen. Oh no, it's not showing it because I only have... Dang it. Okay, well, I guess you can't really necessarily see this window, but you can choose where you want the lens flare, how bright you want it to be, and what kind of lens flare you want it to be as well. So I'm going to click OK, and let's see how that looks. Boop. Okay, you see that? So look at the can. It's pretty slight. It's not crazy. It's not crazy, but it adds a little bit of like a, okay, nice. And then you get a little bit of glare bokeh here too. Yeah, for sure. So, Hang Solo, sorry, Bruce said, not sure if you've already said this, but you shoot in RAW or JPEG. I actually shoot in JPEG. And not because, oh, I like shooting in JPEG because I don't like... To be honest, I know you can do a lot more with RAW, but that's another thing I just haven't really done a lot of experimentation with. I haven't really done a whole lot with it yet. So, I don't have a really good reason for that. But I am going to add 2 more lens flares. There's a little bit of a glare here on his arm and a little bit on his stomach too. So I'm going to add a little bit more there so I'm just going to go to Render, Lens Flare, and I'm going to choose one right on his belly. Probably a little bit smaller. There we go. I like that. It looks good. Tom says, did you plan the yellow, red, white, and the blue background for the photo, or is just something in the background? Those are actually like Indian prayer flags hanging on the deck that we have. Didn't plan that at all. That's just the way the deck is, and that actually kind of made things more difficult. But that is the way it is. Melvin says, Sirdork, I've got a question. If I didn't have any pipe gun or air blaster pipe gun, what kind of pipe gun may I use? Honestly, when you're using that pipe gun, I know this is kind of irrelevant, but if you're using that pipe gun to make dirt fly up or water fly up, you don't have to use a pipe gun. You can just use your hand and go and just slap it with your hand or kick it or something. I do that all the time. Okay, so see the little lens flare we added on his belly? Let's add that same one right there on his arm too to make it consistent. Okay. Nice. That's a little bit too big. I'm gonna redo that. I'm gonna do filter, and I'm going to render, lens flare. Oh, does it not show the filter lens flare? Oh man, I gotta fix this next time I do it. You can't see when I'm clicking up here. It's not picking that up. Oh, that's too bad. Wow, I didn't even realize that. So I gotta fix that for next time. It's not capturing the whole screen. But okay, I did add the lens flare on his arm, and that looks good. That looks really good. I don't think I need to add any more. Adrian says you can use a can of duster. Yep, you can use that same duster can that you can get at the store. Robbie says definitely start shooting in RAW. It'll give you much more to work with. Yeah, I know. Photoshop has an entire dedication spot to working with RAW photos and messing with the colors and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's really important, and I'll get there one day. All right. I think we're just about done. Paul, the firewood salesman, says, almost forgot about this live stream, and I did a photo shoot with Hulk too. Oh, that's awesome. What a coincidence. Whew, excuse me. Okay. I don't know what else to add. I think I'm good. I think the photo is done. I don't know what kinds of colors I would really change. Honestly, I like the way the colors are. I like how vibrant everything is. I don't know what else to change. Is there anything else you guys think that I could change here? Bruce says the only hassle I have with your seems to slow down shooting. Oh, you know what? Yeah, when you shoot in RAW, it does slow down the shutter speed quite a bit. And I mean, from my experience, I'm sure that there might be something I'm missing, but I have experienced that also. to be completely honest. It's true. I'm going to actually brighten up a couple little things on his chest. So there's little bits of bright here. I'm going to use mid-tones. Just a little bit more of a glare on there. I like the way that looks. Change this back to highlights, and I'm also going to accentuate that over there. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it. Would be faint, but maybe a green eye glow would be cool. I was thinking about doing some kind of different color eye glow, but I really like the contrast between the green, the dark green, and the white in his eyes. I actually really enjoy that. I actually wish this was more green or more white. Maybe I will make it more white. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of just straight up white paint in there. To be honest, I think that might actually be really cool. Turn the softness up. Whoa, too much. Yeah, you know, just a tiny little bit of a white glow in his eyes. I think that was a good idea. That was really good. That was very slight. That was really good. Awesome, awesome. That dude says, man, you edit your photos way more than me. Yeah, I know what you mean. Is Jared a perfectionist? I am spending 70 hours messing with my photos. Yeah, Hang Solo, I spend hours with it too, man. You know, and sometimes they don't take this long. Sometimes they take longer. You know, it's not always the same. I think I'm done, you guys. I think I'm done. So the only thing left I'm going to do is add my watermark. So actually, I'm going to scoot this over a little bit so you can see where I will be adding my watermark. So, the way I add my watermark is very, very simple. I just go to the text tool, and I have a specific font that I use. So the Sirdork that is right on the screen here underneath me right there. That's the font, which is called Golden Age. And so I will literally just go down to the corner, and okay, that's too big. So I will change this to 200, and I'll type in Sirdork. I don't like the green. I'm probably going to make it white, so change this to white. There it is, and so it's a little bit big in your face, so I'm going to take the layer of the text here, and I'm going to change the opacity to a little bit lower. And I think that's good, just like that. I think the photo's done. So I didn't really realize that every time, I didn't realize this at all. Every time I was opening up windows on the top here like this, it's actually not showing them in the stream because of the way I'm sharing the window. That's definitely something I'm going to fix next time. That actually is that sucks. To be honest, I really wish that I realized that beforehand. But the photo's done. Photo's done, you guys. This is good. I'm going to save it just like this. I'm going to save it now. So before I forget, and then that is it. How long have we been going for? Oh, wow, 2 hours. Alrighty then. So that's alright. Alright, and it is saved. It is saving right now. Almost done. Tom said we tried to tell you about the menus. Sorry guys. Sorry. Yeah, I should have. I didn't even think about that. I'm telling you, I'm actually impressed with myself. all of the way with the streaming and the adding all this stuff with the different, I didn't know anything about this before. I'm just, like, just experimenting so much, but I'm learning a lot here. But okay, so that's one thing you learn as you go, right? Tanner says that's amazing. Thanks, dude. Thank you so much, man. That's what I've been using. It doesn't look. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. So Hang Solo says happy birthday. Thank you. Paul the Firewood Salesman says that's an awesome result. I'll have to rewatch the whole thing on my days off. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. If it ends up being helpful for you, please just let me know. I would love to know. I hope it is helpful for you. Thank you for watching it. So I'm going to actually go back to here. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to do that because if I click on it, the intro is going to play. Actually, hang on, I can fix it. There we go. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for being here. If you are watching this live, thank you for being here, commenting, everything. If you're watching this not live, thank you still for being here. Next week, I'll have next stream already. Already got some ideas. I still am working on the explosion tutorial. I've been waiting for something to come in the mail for me to actually do it. Finally came, and I got a lot of busy stuff going on this weekend, but content's not going to stop. We got next week's stream. I have the new house collection tour coming, the explosion tutorial. I have some other cool adventure videos coming, more tutorials. As always, you guys, thank you all for being here. Tom, so whoever's still here, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are fantastic. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you, guys.